Time. We are live. All right. This is it, Emily. The final prep for the
Final
Kentucky
prep.
Derby. Final time to qualify. I don't think anyone actually. I think there's one horse that could qualify, right? With
Yeah,
into this race.
just arm. But I
Yeah.
mean, even that it's turns into like a quick turnaround going into the Derby. So maybe this is the prep for the Preakness.
And that could be because this looks like a pretty decent field for this race. With all that in mind, even though they don't have many points, it looks like it's still a pretty interesting race. Got some horses that look like they're trying things for the first time, but look like they have some potential, some ability. So it's going to be interesting. Um, why don't we talk about a little bit about last week? I got the Bluegrass plot up there. I think we were right about most everything except Scooby Quando. He just didn't run, but verifying got the trip we thought he would get. He got the best trip. Ran well. No, kind of the race I thought he would run back in Arkansas. Something similar to that. Tapitrice does his normal thing and just out kicks everybody. And you thought that Blazing Sevens would improve, and he did. But I don't know. I mean, I thought he got seriously outkicked by Tapitrice. I mean, I thought he got a great trip, followed him, and wasn't as wide.
I'm like I'm not going to argue. I mean, I'm just saying that that there was a movement forward projected. He did move forward. If he's not good enough, he's not good enough. I still
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
more ground the better. I think he's just kind of a grinder,
You think
that
he more ground the
kind of
better?
racing himself into shape a little bit.
Yeah, I don't see more ground the better for him, but I mean, we could be wrong there. And then Sun Thunder, he ran okay. I thought it was smart the way they rode him. I didn't think if they rode for the win, he wouldn't have been in the top half of the field, in my opinion. They rode for the points, I think, and they did well to do that. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that was that. I mean, I tell you the truth, I know I kind of like Tapitrice, but I think he's very vulnerable in a 20-horse field. I mean, he's just too many times he gets these, he's working out these trips. I mean, it's just a field like that. I mean, he could be getting, instead of caught like 3, 4, 5 wide, he'll be caught 9, 10 wide. It's going to be ugly if because he has no early rhythm. Can't get out of the gate fast enough. But I think I think the Belmont's better for that horse. Just there's going to be more space. It's going to be better for him. But I wouldn't take too short a price. But we'll get there when we get our Derby analysis. But I think 20-horse field he's going to have to really work out a trip.
Yeah, I thought that I've seen this twice, and I think this is just such a weird combination. The like B plus perfect, and then the horse doesn't win. I don't understand that combination of like keywords grade.
Where is this?
Well, we're gonna see this as we discuss but this is on verifying.
Oh, verifying.
But then we're gonna see it when we talk the Keeneland race. But
yeah, well,
because B plus to me, when I'm giving out a B plus, it's the horse did more than what it takes to win, right? Or step up in class or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if you get a perfect trip,
I think you got to win.
How are you? I mean, how are you going to get better? How are you going to?
Well, I think he got a. I think he did get a good trip. He definitely did, and we kind of projected that. But I think the separation in the stretch and his ability to kind of kick back at the winner, where it looked like the winner had all the momentum, was going to just run by him and coming back. I would have maybe tactics plus a little grit in there. That would be something more that I would say. The race itself, I mean, it was a B plus because I think they were so separated. It was a grade 1 race, and that's probably okay.
Right, but if I'm looking at, and again, this is going to come up in the Keeneland race. If I'm looking at this, right, this is my only piece of data that I'm using to handicap. I'm going to see a B plus in a grade 1, and this horse is going to like jump to the top of the list because of class.
Yeah, and he might. I mean, but again, I mean, he still was a good. I mean, I would I wouldn't give him a B in that race. I mean, if I would have gave him whatever I gave the winner, because I think they ran both ran good race. I mean, he got a better trip than obviously than the winner, but I still kind of like the way he kicked home and kicked back at the end. I mean, I just think he wasn't giving up any ground really. And like I said, they really separated from the. I mean, you can make an argument it was a B race for both of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because it came. I mean, the number came back 98. The Optix figure range 96 to 102, so it's still like on the lower end.
Yeah, I mean that might. So we may look at it before we, finalize the Derby stuff. But right now, that was the initial observation from our note taker, and we'll maybe get him ask him what he thought. What was he thinking?
Like I said, this is going to come up. It'll come up when we look at the Lexington, because it's the same combination.
Okay, so that was like the Santa Anita race. Hey, I think Practical Move ran okay. Good race. I think the top 3 ran a good race. It was a competitive race. I think you could make an argument, and we were talking a little bit before, that the Japanese horse ran pretty well. Probably maybe ran the best, Mandarin Hero. Either way, they both ran well. Top 3 ran well. I think the top 2 were better. And I thought Skinner had every chance. I thought Skinner was going to win the race. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I mean, did you see the note that I gave Skinner?
No, I did not. What does it say? Let me go. So I think Practical Move moves on. I guess the Japanese horse doesn't have enough points, or he's on the bubble kind of thing.
Yeah, he's on the also eligible right now, but they're going to stay here hoping.
Yeah, I agree with that. With Skinner, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. So it was a good race. We thought it would be a good race.
We can look at Practical Move too, because I think that's probably his note is maybe relevant, because it's a horse that could actually be the morning line favorite. Practical Move.
Yeah, we only could hope.
What's that?
I said we only could hope.
No, I mean, I think he will be, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying no, Forte is going to be the morning line.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about Forte. You're okay, but this horse will be your second choice then.
Yeah, probably. And I can't wait till we get to that conversation with the Derby, maybe like in a week or 2. We'll do an early kind of a view of the plot and stuff, because I think the plot is so good for the Derby that it's important.
Real quick, because we got a comment in the chat. Hey guys, is Modern Games a lock? So that race is coming up in 8 minutes. Do you want to handicap it real quick?
Sure.
Keeneland race 9.
9. Okay. I have to put that right up the plot. Great. We were talking about this a little bit before this race, and I guess to me, I was just kind of questioning why this horse is here. Modern Games. With like Ascot around. I mean, this is a Euro horse. I don't think there was a change in ownership. I know Godolphin likes to race everywhere, but Emily and I would have a discussion. I was just curious why with Ascot here, right around the corner, starting beginning of June, why this horse might be prepping here. Because I assume this horse is going to run in Ascot. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it would just seem logical to me.
Well, they normally. Let me see. It's kind of a weird campaign, right? Because this horse has never really run in the spring. He usually runs like summer to fall.
Right. So you start a campaign a little bit earlier. Good.
But he did run in the Queen Elizabeth at Ascot in October in the second off, finishing second.
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is just like I'm assuming there has to be a target, but I could be wrong, And so this would be a prep. Maybe they just thought this was the easiest spot and they shipped them. I guess they got money. They don't worry about shipping cost and all that stuff. It's not not an issue to them. But I mean, I don't know. What is he now, folks? 1 to 5? I mean,
2 to 5. I mean, even if it is a prep, this horse just might be so much better than the rest of this field. This field is not.
Yeah.
This field is just not much,
Yeah, he might be. I gave the one a little bit of a look just because this horse had run a triple digit Optix fig and the big square. But I mean, I don't know if this is the right distance for him. He's more of kind of a 9 furlong horse coming off a layoff. This could, there's another race that could be kind of a prep or something for something else a little bit longer. That field was kind of, I thought, relatively soft in the Gulfstream race. The day they had the Pegasus World Cup. So I don't know.
What about the one? What about our Hawthorne Derby winner? This horse is like improving.
That's what I was talking about.
Oh, the one?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the In Love. Sorry.
Oh no. No, maybe I misspoke. I had the one up here. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like that was, I said there's the only horse that had kind of like a recent triple digit. If you look at his plot, just from a square perspective, he's the only horse that looks like maybe, relatively he's got better finish than some of the others in here. So, is he going to be too far out of it? I don't know. But, that was the one kind of option I looked at in this race. Don't have a strong opinion. Maybe the horse is a lock, but how would you use him? I mean, yes, that's the point.
No, you have interesting notes on the 2. It's a horse that was actually pretty fast in his first 2 starts as a sophomore. And then it says like this horse just came alive.
Kind of an improving type. Yep.
Can this horse step up from optional claiming company into a grade 1? They're currently betting him at 7 to 2. He's
I don't want any part of 7 to 2.
Yeah, that's a big step up in class.
Yeah. The 3. Look like more sprinting, like shorter than they finally stretched this horse out, stretched him out again to 8.5. 8 covers rank. I don't know. Maybe they try to wire the field, but again, from a class perspective, below, right? This horse okay, I guess. 11 to 1. Just relatively speaking, showed some class on the dirt. Switching to turf, looked like he's done okay. He had one really bad race, and I think you projected. I guess I did. Back to dirt. They stayed on turf, so it looks like this horse can handle both surfaces. Got some class.
I mean, that Saratoga race you can really kind of give a pass for. I thought this horse going back to this juvenile sophomore year, kind of following him as far as being a Triple Crown contender, I thought he had distance limitations at that time. Just remember talking through. So that Saratoga race at 9.5 furlongs, being a no keep and then a layoff that followed, you can probably draw a line through that race.
He's 11 to 1, so he's better than the 2 from a betting standpoint. Yeah. This is the other Euro. Kind of, looks like, grade 2 placed as 3-year-old. I mean, this horse may have some juice. 14 to 1. I mean, I just wouldn't, that just, consider him off that last race. He did what he had to do at Gulfstream to win. So maybe there's more upside here. Emily, this horse looks a little bit interesting, I thought. Just because he's got the back, he's got the class, the back class. Not sure again on the distance.
Yeah, that's actually what gives me more concern about it is like, if Chad Brown thought this horse had like back class and was class, why would he have run him in like an optional claiming race?
Just a prep. maybe.
I get it, but I mean, they could prep if they thought he was good. They could still prep him in like a,
Yeah,
grade
I think it's
three.
I think it's more the distance because it looked like
Maybe.
they don't run that distance maybe very often. So and
Mm,
maybe the horse is doing good off the wind, got some confidence, and they're taking a shot.
mm.
Yeah. 6 kind of looks. Let's see, he's been kind of on synthetic. Maybe that's just not the surface he wants. I don't know.
He
But
has a grade one. He has a grade one win here at
yeah,
a mile.
yeah,
2021.
yeah. I don't know if he's the same kind of horse. Um, he's 42 to 1. I mean, he's got to be an underneath horse.
Yeah.
Modern games we talked about, and then the 8.
I like this horse. I think
Do
he's
you?
yeah.
Okay.
Not here, but
Oh.
in general.
Oh, I got you.
They just keep putting him in like the worst. It's another one
Yeah.
you could use. You could use the 8 underneath for sure at a big price.
This-
You just keep putting him in spots. It's like it's over his head.
Well, he's not really over his head here, because
You know what? You're kind of right. Yeah.
because this field is like this is other than the modern game is really not a graded stakes
Right.
field. So I think you're right. I mean, yeah. So to go back, it probably does look like a cinch. The 7, just in comparison, 2 looks really warm and
Very washed out.
Yeah.
Very washed out. Head to
I kind of like the 1 and 5 a little bit here. Horses head, maybe. So they're going into the gate. I'm a little bit delayed, I think, because I'm watching on Dish.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're in the gate on my end, and they're off. How far behind are you?
They're not off yet. Not at all.
Okay, tell me.
Oh, it's slog on the 4.
Yeah, it's like a good 2-3 seconds.
Seven's getting a perfect trip, isn't it? So the 3, yeah, I thought they'd probably try to get the 3 going. 5 is stalking. 8's getting a good trip. You're 8.
Yeah.
7's getting a good trip. Got enough pace to close into here. Is the race over?
Not yet. Not yet. But not much has changed. They hit the half 47-4. 5 starting to separate. There's not much change in running order. The 3 starting to
he's got to giddy up that 7.
Yeah, he does.
It's kind of going up.
I mean, they're pushing him along too. He's not really responding yet. So should be interesting as they turn into the stretch. 5 getting that perfect, or the 3 getting that trip. 3 takes off, clears. It looks like the 8's going to be second, and then the 2 might outkick the 7. They keep the pan is.
My goodness.
3.
Oh my.
3-8-2 maybe, I don't know. Between the way that they do the cameras and the one color saddle towel, it's like.
Oh man, I know.
I mean, both you and I watch races literally for a living, and we're like, I have no idea who finished where. Like, if we can't tell, the public, not that the public can't watch a race. I didn't mean to discredit anybody, but I makes
sense. Wow, that wasn't even like a contest.
Yeah.
You're 8 round huge there.
I know that. I was saying he's got good horse. They just.
Yeah.
I mean, to put him where he can win, but I mean, I guess they'll be happy with a second place finish in grade 1 once again. So, yeah. So the weird spot for that 7, I thought, but whatever. So, something was up there. Yeah, that was a very strange race. Very strange. I mean, no excuse. He had pace in front of him. I mean, he was under a ride from the turn. Right. He wasn't doing anything. He was going up and down. But no one was really moving except for the 5 going backwards. Yeah, it's true. Wow, that was
Big upset. Off the board too. You want to see what show prices are going to be like? He was off. Was he off the board? I'm not even sure.
I can't. Maybe he finished third.
Maybe he did.
Because it looked like it looked like
he finished second. Wow.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. Okay.
He finished fourth. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but that tells
That's no way to watch a race.
Yeah, that's an impossible way to watch a race. One color saddle towels and that camera angle that just doesn't care about the rest of the field is ridiculous. All right, shall we move on?
Okay, we did say Anita. Is there anything? I mean, huge upset in the Wood Memorial. The two horses that kind of seemed logical ran second and third. They were kind of looked like they were all kind of gasping for air late. I don't know. I don't see anything out of that makes me think any of those horses are Kentucky Derby contenders. What about you?
Yeah, I don't think so either. I thought it was kind of a softer race going in, and yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. So, the Lexington. That's the last prep. Looks like a pretty well-behaved plot. Looks like lots of horses could do well here. A lot of good plots, 5, 6, 8, 7. A lot of good plots here. Lots of opportunity here to handicap this race. Looks like it's kind of an average, legitimate. Should be a legitimate pace. Give everybody a chance to do something in here. What do you think about the plot, Emily?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, tough to really knock anybody. I think riders will make a difference, especially this type of plot. Yeah, can make a case for many.
Yeah. So let's go to the videotape too. I don't know. I guess this arm's going to be the favorite, don't you think?
Yes.
He may not be the morning line favorite, or he's cold morning. Or he seems longer than he might be. 7-2 in the morning line.
Yeah, the 5 is 3-1, and both 6 and 11 are 7-2.
Yeah, and he's okay. I just wouldn't want to take too short of a price on him, Emily. I know he's kind of improving. I liked his race in the Louisiana Derby, but I'm not going to take too short. Like this horse is 5-2 or less. I'm passing.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Let's start back at the 1. I have this horse as a toss, but I don't know. I mean, not as toss, but a long shot. I don't know what your thought is on this horse. Let's see what I have.
More for like underneath.
Yeah. Wait a second. The 2 I had as a toss, not the 1. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you want to say about this horse. I just got to look at my notes here.
Yeah, I mean, last out, you can give an excuse because the Louisiana Derby, the horse walked on the front end. This is a deep closer that had no pace to run into, so you can give that race an excuse. But then the question is this horse still good enough? He's a deep closer. Should have the pace. Being honest, I think he'll have pace to close into. I'm not going to talk anybody off for underneath, but would still need just such a massive move forward in order to win.
Yeah, I could see. I could see maybe a super as the ultimate high point on this horse. Too. Yeah, I would. This is the one I would toss. Reinvest.
Oh, I'm not tossing this horse.
You're not tossing? Okay, good. So why not?
Well, I mean, he's obviously slower than these other horses, right? So he looks like a toss. But I went back and I just watched from like a visual standpoint. And just it seems like a horse that he's kind of dominating those horses out at Tampa, but like just doing so just enough like in order to win. And I just think maybe he's faster and maybe he's better than what he's been able to show just kind of based on his competition. He's been a short price in both. It's a barn that stables down in Tampa, so it's not like as I'm going to knock some of these other horses like where they started their career and like the placement that they've been running in. This horse, it's like that's where the barn is. It's not, it's not a huge barn. So yeah, I mean, I know he's slower than these other horses, but he's doing everything right visually. that maybe he's just faster. To improve again is not a reach, right? I
No,
mean,
no,
if you
no.
look, you know,
Yeah. I respect your opinion, but I'm not going to use it.
okay. I mean, I wouldn't. That's fine. I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do. I respect it. I mean,
He's a legitimate stab.
yeah,
I'm big
three
projection.
Demolition Duke. Um, you've been watching. I don't know. I have this thing with fairground horses that aren't, for they're not staked races. I just kind of think they're a level below when they show up at a track like Lexington or New York or something like that. But you've been watching, so what's your thought?
Yeah, I mean, favorable trip. First out, still has some gate issues in both of his races. Speed figure wise, there really hasn't been much progression race to race. The trouble last out was carried wide on the first turn. Maybe that's even a trouble minus. Just pretty soft races he comes out of. No value at 6-1.
No.
I mean, you could say he's the same horse as the two,
Yeah.
honestly.
I
Right?
don't know if it matters, but Hernandez goes elsewhere. I don't know if I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know how to even interpret.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't bet this horse either.
I can. What?
You
What?
can?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, we gave him a look going into the Gotham because he's improving type. Looks visually there should have visually could handle more ground coming out of those Turfway Park races. Going back and watching the Gotham, Talma broke this horse slow. He had this horse just completely out of position the entire race, could never find a rhythm, could never find the right spot. I just think it was a complete just kind of mismatch as far as the rider, as far as the trip. The horse has come out of the race. He's working steadily. Strong works coming into the race. They go back to the rider that won on him on February 10th. They're going to add the blinkers to it. It's like they know that there's something more to this horse, and if there is something more to this horse, this is the time because I can easily excuse the Gotham. Talamo, beat it. Yeah.
The other thing I'll say in his favor is that the horses seem to be the Turfway Park horses seem to be running well at Keeneland. Kind of outrunning their odds. So I'll give you that.
Yeah, pull up the works for this horse if you don't mind.
On the training track. Is that training track?
But I mean, just like in terms of the spacing, right? Since
no, it's all good. Yeah.
That's not the training track. That's the training center.
Yeah, where is that in Turfway or is it?
I think that's like outside of like.
Is it synthetic or is it dirt?
No, it's dirt.
Okay, and those are good works. He had some similar good works going into the wood. Maybe he didn't like the slop and the mud either.
Yeah, I'm just saying. If you go back, it's like one of those that it's a more subtle trip, but it's just one that like you could see why the horse didn't run very well, and kind of you could see where he could improve off that.
Okay, trust you. First mission. This horse is going to get bet. Big high speed figures, but I'm downgrading. I just, there's a totally different game, and again, the fairgrounds. Maybe this horse has already kind of peaked, and he's coming back in 28 days again. They're taking a shot here. Perfect trip last time. I'm just, I know he's going to be a shorter price. What is he? 3-1 Cox. He's going to get played like crap. I'm just going to. Interesting too. Saez is back on this horse. I mean, Flannery won with him last time. I know Saez is probably the number one rider, but still, it was kind of interesting. Flannery ended up on the 1, I guess. But I'm not going to take a short price on this horse. What about you?
No way. I mean, he wasn't favored on debut for these connections. Was just pretty average. I mean, ran fine, but it's not. There really hasn't been
fairgrounds. At
fairgrounds, right?
Yeah.
Late lead change. Looked to go by winner, just unable to get by even after late lead change. Then gets a perfect trip. Going 2 turns. I mean, the speed figures, are fast, but it's just tough to tell. Even translating, even let's say those speed figures, they are what they are. He still has to translate them to a different track. He's got to step up.
Yeah.
Exiting maiden company, integrated stakes races. It's a lot to ask for a horse that's a short price.
Agreed. Disarm, I think we talked about him already. 7 is Dennington. I thought this horse was a little bit interesting, at least underneath. Emily, I look at that note last time. Cole, I guess the barn must have been in a funk. That's the McPeak barn. And he kind of points to this Lexington meet. The race before, just from a numbers standpoint, would put this horse right there. Kind of improving a little bit. It's got a little bit back class. I mean, he ran in that Kentucky race that we always point out every year. He wasn't like progressing a lot as a 3-year-old, but it seemed like he made a move forward in the fairgrounds race, and the second fairgrounds race. He was warm the last race, so maybe it just wasn't his day. He's coming back. I just looking for an improved effort, looking more underneath than on top.
Yeah, I mean that race back on February 18th is the fastest race he runs at. He's competitive, but kind of looks like an outlier. He'll have to see where he has to get back to that. He probably want to get a look at him on the track because he was the pre-race plus that day.
Yeah. And he was warm the next time, so I mean.
Yeah.
Maybe getting back to better. Maybe the distance is better too for him. The 8. I really like this horse's debut. I mean, it's tough to go from a maiden special win, but that was a really good race. That was a good race too. And it was around 2 turns debut. I mean, this horse is an obvious contender, and I kind of like him, over those other horses that are going to take money like Disarm and the Cox horses. I think this horse
is 4-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be 4-1. Do you?
Yeah, I think a lot of people like this horse. Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I mean, I've done. This is my 3rd Lexington analysis show.
Okay.
So I have an idea of how people are looking at this race, and every show that I've been on, somebody has picked this horse.
Well, I just think he's going to be. If he's not better value than those 2, then I don't want any part of him. But if he is better value than those 2, then I would rank him higher. Than those 2. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing is like it comes down to value. He has the same challenges.
This is a horse I think has got a legitimate chance to actually even win the race. I really believe it. I mean, this horse is progressing, running really well. Sam Davis, it was kind of a weird day. It was raining during that race, raining hard. He got some kickback. He was slow out of the gate. That's the only thing. I mean, his last 2 races, I don't know what happened. I mean, this horse was not a slow breaker. His last 2 races, he's broken slowly. So I don't know. Did they make any kind of equipment change or anything on this horse? Well, there's a big change. It's the jockey. I just think this horse ran. I think he did run better than looked in the Tampa race. And Tampa race has come back as a fairly key race now. And I just think this horse might be forwardly placed. Let me see the plot. I think it's a pretty good trip. He's the number 9 here on the plot. I think he's better. And he was kind of improving. If he can get back to that, this is not a tough race. He's just got to get out of the gate. And hopefully with Velasquez, he gets out of the gate. See if he's had any gate workouts or anything like that since the last time. Not really, but he seems to be working pretty well. I just think he's got a shot. I mean, he's a big price, and I think he's by a long shot. Yeah.
I wasn't crazy about him visually. I thought he looked like a little on the cheaper side, not talking like trip or anything like that, just from like an overall visuals. That was like kind of my one kind of main knock.
Yeah. But like I said, this race is not really graded stakes race, and he's maybe looked a little cheaper than some of the graded stakes horses. Yeah, I mean maybe it's Tampa, but I just think that, especially the way the Tampa Bay Derby has come back pretty strong so far. So kind of an underrated race. Okay, what do you think about this turf horse?
Yeah, I mean this one looks pretty pretty
Tusky.
overmatched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess is the last one. Is another horse I don't think has value, but what do you think about this horse?
Well, this is that horse that has a B+ perfect that I was talking about in that second
Oh,
start.
yes.
And so I mean he had no excuse in the Los Alamitos Futurity. I mean, he looked like a complete standout in that race based on this, based on if I'm following these notes and everything like that. He would look a standout in that race. Didn't show anything. Didn't show anything in the next start. Been watching his work since. They've been training him to where he's like out in front of horses. And I think the best thing that they're going to do is like try like what happened last time, just send and try to get this horse to where he can't pass horses. Doesn't seem like a horse that can pass horses. So I think they're just going to try to, I don't know. But from the outside, with Ortiz aboard, and they did kind of like track a little bit and rate in that Keeneland race. I don't know. He's like not bettable off those last two races.
Yeah.
He's just, especially at a short price. That's, I guess, just the quick.
The gist of it. All right. So, Emily mentioned a couple of long shots here. Transect number 4. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one, Emily? The 2?
Yep.
Yeah, Reinvest.
Yep.
And my long shot in this race was 9 Prairie Hawk. And I think that's about it. I think, we take a look at the prices, but looks like the favorites are just a bit vulnerable here. They're no lock. So you might.
Well, I mean, I think we both think that Disarm is pretty logical.
Yeah, he is. He is
like a top 3 finishing type, in this field. know.
Sure. I don't know how Asmussen's been doing at Oaklawn and stuff, but overall he's just.
At Oaklawn, he's doing well. He just
won. Well, okay.
6-1.
Because like when I see a little bit of New York. I don't follow New York and Kentucky, and he doesn't have the same kind of presence that he's had in the past. And I don't know if they're cutting back or focusing on certain meets. I mean, because they used to be everywhere and do everything.
Yeah.
And do it well, but So Disarm. He's kind of a logical horse. But I think he's going to be much shorter than. I think he's going to be the favorite, and I guess they got First Mission as the favorite. I don't see that. Yeah. I see Disarm as the favorite in this race. So if he's not the favorite, he is kind of moved up. So that's that. I just want to show you a couple of things since we're here, Emily. One of the things we've got to change is if you click the number of the horse, you get like a short grid on the horse. So you don't have to, if you're just kind of like doing what we just did, and you want to kind of stay in the plot and look at the plot while you're. Look at the horse's past performance. You at least get the notes if you buy notes and you get the speed figures and some of the information. So I thought that was a good add. People had that in the old one; they wanted it, so that's that. And then if you go to our grid, if you go all the way to the right, you'll start seeing everything shaded red, and that's all the brisk class. People like brisk class, pace figures, the RS1, RS2 kind of thing, and the pace figures. And the par for that race. So if you want to kind of compare the par, and we're like not too far off in terms of our speed figures from Briss. So keep that in mind. It's just we kind of use the same scale. So that's that. And so that's some 2 new features. We're going to probably Monday or Tuesday put the Derby package up for sale. We'll be doing all this stuff. The good stuff that we do and focus and everything for both the last race is the Oaks and the Derby Day. And the other thing that you'll see some pre-plots and stuff. It'll change a million times. But, if you do buy it early, you'll see it as it evolves. So, as they get from right now, I think I look at the plot, Emily. It's just,
I was going to say, you're going to pull that up?
Yeah, well, it's just for fun, right? It's like 45 horses in the plot, But like you'll see it evolve as it evolves and goes down. You'll see because it changes depending on what happens, but it changes like a million times. But I think after this weekend, we should get to something like 25. So it'll be readable. and then we'll decide, Emily, when we want to kind of preview it. Maybe the end of next week or the week after. It depends. Okay.
Yeah. We'll have to figure out the schedule.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So that's it. Any other questions out there, Emily?
It doesn't seem like it. The only comment we had was from the Modern Games earlier. If anybody's there and has a comment, act now.
I will hold your peace. Okay.
I'm doing a live seminar for Hawthorne the Wednesday before Derby, and we're going to use the TV monitors in the room and like show the Optix stuff for like the stakes races.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, cool. 7-4 exact. Oh, I'm just reading the comments now. That was the Modern Games. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, folks. I think that's it. It's good talking to y'all. No, we didn't get like a lot of questions today, but that's okay.
No, I think with Keeneland going like right now, I think there's a lot of focus on Keeneland at the moment.
Yeah. I think the last race. Take a look at the number. Let's see. Let's. You got a second to take a look at the last race?
Keeneland or Aqueduct? I thought you said you liked Aqueduct. No.
No. That race is over. So
okay.
Keeneland. I'm looking at 4:14. This is the last race of the day. Okay. Kind of a tough race. You got some first-time starters. Kind of lightly raced horses. Okay. Going 2 turns for the first time. I thought the one looked pretty good. For whatever reason, this horse was, but Mott doesn't get bet the first time a lot, but second time, that was at Saratoga too. Horse didn't run, but he got bet a little bit. Ran a good race. Next time, first time, going a mile at a Gulfstream. So, that, makes him competitive. The 2 looks competitive on figures. But again, I'm just comparing like Fairgrounds to Gulfstream when I compare these races, Emily. And I have to give a little bit of a knockdown on the Fairgrounds compared to the Gulfstream races. So I would rank the 1 higher than the 2. The 1 is 7 to 1, the 2 is 9 to 1. The 3 kind of ran an okay race in debut for Asmussen. So, if the horse kind of moves forward, looks like a horse that can contend. He's 5 to 1. 4 had a lot of chances, but they're on synthetic. Hasn't run that fast enough comparatively. So I don't know, unless there's transition to dirt, it looks kind of up against it. 63 to 1. Wow. Some of these odds at Keeneland are just,
I know,
long. Fairgrounds horse again, it's kind of comparable to some of these others in here. He's 37 to 1. The big problem with him is the gate issues, and that's really magnified when you run a Keeneland, Emily. You have to get pretty good early position. Horses
seems like
horses just don't pass everybody. 6 was entered for. I love to have the scratch information. Was entered for a maiden claim, right?
Yeah.
So the intent was, hey, this horse, whatever, either he's doing great or, we're taking a shot. Where owner wants to run this horse that. It's maker too, so it's interesting. Let me see the works on this horse. See if you got any dirt work. What number was he? 6. Man. A lot of works. I don't like a lot of works, Emily.
Same. It doesn't take that horse that long to get ready.
No. It pays bills though, right? For the trainer. he's in training. He hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
This horse ran well, big improvement in second start. I'm guessing maybe that improvement might regress after that kind of big improvement. Just a guess. That's a 7. He's 5 to 1. So I think I like others better, even though he got a pretty good last speed figure. Good trip for the 8 and is going 7 furlongs, and now he's stretching out. He's 5 to 2.
Go back to you were positive. Oh, you just kind of dismissed the 7 because of the fairgrounds.
No, this horse made a huge move up, like off of like a
Yeah.
race, like, and then I'm just sometimes horses after a big effort like that, they come back again. Maybe they regress a little bit. Maybe he's warming up right now. It looks good.
Yeah, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think this horse is moving forward, and he closed into kind of a slower pace, and then that moved him up on the plot because he was a quad 4 circle in that race. And now he's a quad 4 square, quad 3
Okay.
square.
5-1.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair. This horse, let's see, took money and took some money in debut, ran okay, got a good trip, ran a big speed figure. Wilkes is hot.
Oh, Matt, that's a mag race. Maggie,
Maggie.
the horse that finished second in the
Oh,
Florida.
Madge.
I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah, MAGE.
that's the MAGE horse was the horse that won that race on
Okay.
January 28th.
So that's a live race. The horse is
Well,
5-2.
nobody else has done anything out of it. So
5-2. Wilkes' barn is doing pretty well so far. I think they're doing okay. No, Rusty Arnold's doing pretty well. 9 is a first-time starter, 58-1. And then don't like the 11. The 10 looks like it's kind of improving a little bit. But you got Windstar, that horse is 2-1. I don't think that horse is.
No value. No value.
I think the value's up here in the 1, 2, and the 3. The inside,
7.
What was the other one?
7.
7. Well, 7 is value. 7's, I think 7's,
5-1.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 7. Those are the value horses. So gotta fix those. Bothers me. Okay, fixed. Okay, that's that. Let's see. It's 1 minute.
Yeah, let's watch. There was a horse that there's a KEE race. Can you go
She was
back?
a little toey right now. What?
Yeah, the 2 was just on warm up. Can you go to race 1 at Keeneland today?
Yeah.
Pull up the grid. Because we might need to adjust something here. This 2 horse that has trouble start, that March 4th race, this horse won today. Now, click on that race, double click, because that race I think is KEE. 1 horse came back and 2 horses came back because this horse won, but 1 horse already won. And then there's another horse that finished 3rd at Aqueduct yesterday, but recorded a 100 Optix figure.
Yeah.
See that? And then this horse won today by open lengths.
Yeah, I bet him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So maybe that one needs to be KEE or something.
Yeah. I got to go into the whole race. So I'll mark it. Yeah, I was, I didn't see this KEE when I did it, but going back, I usually put the KEE only when I see it. Like I'm projecting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, you don't have to add it, but I mean.
Yeah, no, I noticed. Like I went and saw that, and I got to bet the horse. The other thing is, like I said, Arnold's horses are running. That was what I was trying to make. I kind of confused him. I don't know why. I always confuse Wilkes and Arnold.
Well, I think Wilkes horses have been running too.
The 9 is out now.
Yeah. They were 60. They were 61.
I'm 137 because I don't like the way the 2 looks on the track.
Okay.
I think he looks a little toey, as the Australians would say. Kind of anxious. I mean, folks, if you ever want to watch something where you want to learn something about how a horse looks on the track, I mean, you got some good people in the States, but nothing compares to Hong Kong racing, the amount of time they spend on it, before every race. So if you can get a signal to Hong Kong racing, watch it. Second to none, the lady that does that, not only does she do for every horse, but she has a book on every horse. And not only that, they have information about the horse, like tongue ties and stuff that they add and they put on below. And they have the weight. They know the weight of the horses. And like she'll say, this horse has lost weight. I mean, if you really want to see it done right, check that out. It's worth watching.
Yeah, it's so weird what horse racing decides they want to put their resources into versus what they don't sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
It's like they would horse racing would rather have like award shows and costume contests or whatever, hat parties, I don't know. Then
other animal races.
Yeah,
animal races.
yeah, exactly. Like bring out the zebras, you know, whatever. Yeah. 5 was a slog. Again. No, he's never really a slog. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong race.
That was the first.
Yeah, that's what happened. Oh yeah, no, he's always a slog. Okay, makes sense. The 7 had positional speed, and then I looked away, and he got shuffled back. I don't know what happened there. The 1's probably where you want to be, down inside, pushing pace, and not incredibly fast, necessarily.
The 1 and the 3 were and the 2's got a good coverage.
Yeah. The 5 moved up early after that start. Again, not very fast. Saying earlier when doing the show, it looks like a lot of these races, at least the early part, maybe the track has changed, like played like Hawthorne, where these horses start to move in this middle part of the race, and you're like, okay, you know, here we go. And then all of a sudden it's
they're like
nope, nobody's moving, nobody's changing position. You know, the 3 decides to go backwards, but like the 8 should have swooped.
I still got.
I mean, the 8 might grind it out, but like, you know, off the turn in like a normal race, you're like, oh, he's gonna roll. It's weird.
1 ran good.
1 ran good.
Yeah, took the pressure.
Did have the track profile.
Yes,
though.
he did. That was a good trip.
No excuse for the 3. I had to see what happened to the 7, because again they were like up there early, and then 7 kind of looks turfy a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I played the 1 there. So anyway, so that's the end of the broadcast. Thanks everybody for joining, and we'll see you Kentucky Derby preview time. Take care.
Perfect. All right. Bye.